Welcome back to Of Lore and Legend. Having defeated the demon and journeying back to town, Titus has passed out the payment for the party's good work. However, Edovard's contract has not yet been fulfilled, and the night's strange occurrences still ring in the minds of those who held watch. We return to the group preparing a well-earned meal.
Cooking ensues for about 15 or so minutes. You guys see Lumen kind of just walk out the front door. Lumen, what are you doing? Oh. Hello? Moth, right? Not butterfly?
Yes. I was wondering if you had any herbalism kits.
I have one on me, but it's mine. But I have some back at my shop. Did you need one?
Please.
Okay, well, I don't have any particular affinity to this one, I guess. I can sell this one to you. Let me see how much it's worth. And see how much she's willing to part for. Jeez. Where are they listed? I thought they were just under the...
They should just be under.
Where are they listed? Where are they listed? Where are they listed? In the equipment's table.
I'll part with this one for 4 gold.
102.
All the pieces should be there.
And all the pieces of gold should be there.
Would you like it?
Not on 110.
I go through it and check.
Are you experienced in herbalism?
Not exactly.
All the pieces that you would expect to be there, seem to be there.
4 gold and a silver.
Okay. You've driven the price up, and I'm listening.
It's yours personally.
Oh. Very kind of you. Okay.
Deal.
You have yourself a deal. And she hands you the herbalism kit. It's a small little leather pouch full of, like, clippers and, like, different little, like, tweezers and stuff to pick up different herbs carefully with, and some vials and different little, like, acids and stuff that you would mix with an herb to see if you can, like, pull the oil out of it. So.
It's $5. All I have is 7.
Pretty much. You're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you for the...
Of course. I hope the kit serves you well. Always good to see new students.
I was going to say same, but...
You too.
I'm nervous. I'm going to go back into that.
Okay.
Enjoy your movie.
You flutter away and she walks away. You guys spend some time, I'm assuming, preparing some food. Is anybody doing anything specific before?
I'd like to talk to Arthur.
Okay, Arthur's not down there yet. You want to go up there and...
Then I go up and
I'm
find
not
him.
skilled in preparation, and I'd just be a big body in the kitchen getting in the way. So I will be working on more pamphlets.
Okay. Do you have the paper and stuff for them now?
I do have paper, yeah.
Okay. So you go over to the table and you lay out all the paper and your little charcoal pencils and stuff, and you start scrawling together some more. They're Ilmater tracts, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And I ask Ghibli to show me how to use these ingredients best way.
Okay.
The ingredients for the... Sorry?
For whatever. What are you... You seem better at the fancy food.
You're making breakfast, Ghibli.
I guess I'm making breakfast.
Okay. Do you think Ghibli grew up with servants making breakfast for him, I assume? Not slaves.
He would try to be alert in multiple areas. Like he tries to know as much as he could while under the tutelage of learning the swordplay. So he would cook some food every now and then.
I'll say he knows. He knows some basics.
I'm helping him. I just don't...
They grow in a bowl
I'm
that
asking
sits on
what
the kitchen
he-
counter.
So your mind kind of, Ghibli, your mind kind of goes back to the days that Not the days that, like, food was made for you by servants, but instead the days where you went on trips with your mother and father, or your gracious parents gave their servants a paid day off, and they decided to cook for themselves that day.
And they had you cook for them.
And no, the days you spent your mom showing you, like, cooking different things. And so with these ingredients, you kind of come up with something that you remember making with her, and you do your best to, without her help this time, make it. So if the two of you want to, we'll see how this turns out. David, what do you think you're making with... There's a whole slew of different vegetables like potatoes and carrots and celery and corn, because you guys are in the like agricultural capital of Raskelia. She brought you like a bunch of stuff. There's venison, there's veal, there's these weird eggs, there's some really, really good looking bacon. She even brought you like little cocoa beans and almonds, like it's just a bunch of stuff. It's basically like Arthur was like, bring me the finest ingredients you can find, and I don't care what they are.
Kung Pao venison.
Kung Pao venison.
For breakfast?
Can I have some
It's
mac
lunch.
and cheese?
Oh, okay.
Are you gonna make us some mac and cheese?
He abandons all of it and goes, bring me elbow noodles.
All right. I think what Gimli would try to do is that in a kind of a pot roast style, put the venison in with some of the potatoes and the corn, and some of the carrots in, and cook them up and simmer the other vegetables as well in a different pot, and then kind of like cook it a little bit with some of the bacon as well.
Okay, cool. So you guys want to go ahead and you want to give him advantage, I'm assuming, or is he giving you advantage? Go ahead and make see what check this
I
would
give
be.
you advantage by setting the table.
Sweet.
Well, this would be a cook's utensils check, because that is or cooking tools is a tool. It is a trade. So if you're not proficient, are you proficient in cooking tools?
No.
Then we'll just have this be a straight roll, and I'll let you add your intelligence.
Okay.
Do you have an intelligence modifier?
I have a ton more for you.
Okay. So we'll let you add your intelligence.
Do you have an intelligence score?
Oh yeah, thanks actually.
Okay. Oh, we've got a guidance die, a special one. It's coming down the table. Say, here comes the choo-choo train.
Yay. So it was straight roll with the guidance and intelligence.
Intelligence modifier, yeah.
That's 20.
Not bad.
Whoa.
That's a good
Way
meal.
better than I was expecting.
Me as
Boy
well.
can cook.
So, okay, while you guys are preparing that, Edovard, you walk upstairs.
Oh, yes.
It's like 5 minutes or so after Titus has come down. Or it's probably like 15 minutes. They're well into the cooking process. And you've kind of had nothing to do. And realizing, you're not any help down here, and they haven't asked you to do anything. You waltz on upstairs.
Nobody ever asked me to help cook. I don't know.
For some reason, I'm just a festering wound.
We don't and you have bandages and wounds everywhere.
I found a whole bandage in my suit.
Noodle.
I found a hair in mine. Well, I found a whole bandage.
Could have been my hair.
A whole ace bandage is just floating in my suit.
Gross.
A bit of pinky. Just leprosy fall off.
You walk up the stairs.
Yep.
The door to the middle room that has like the cots in it opened. You go in, make your way up to the third floor, which is Arthur's chambers. Going to open the door, you notice that it is locked.
It's just more aggressive than a friendly knock.
So like an urgent knock?
Yeah.
Okay. So quick rap at the door. You hear
The British are coming.
Arthur. Yes.
It's Edovard.
What can I do for you?
I just want to make sure I get my hands on some certain literature.
Right. Give me just a moment. And you hear like a... it doesn't sound like locks on the door. It sounds like some
That's him
form,
putting on clothes.
some form of machinery inside the room that is being messed with. And then there's kind of a rattling of metal. And then you begin hearing the doors. The door opens. You see him standing there. Some like soot or grease or something on his face. Yes. Oh, right. Follow me. He shuts the door behind you, takes you up to the library. Nope, never mind. They're not in here. They're in my personal library. I already told you that. Come back with me. Then you go back downstairs to his room. You'll have to help me push my bed over. Not over, like slide it off.
Okay.
Okay. Roll a strength check.
Can it be athletics?
This is my first roll tonight, finally.
He did the
Critically
DM
fail.
face.
It's a good thing he rolled so high.
I trip and hit my head on the bedpost.
Yeah, you're like pushing it, and you watch as he just kind of watches you for a little bit. Okay. And he grabs the side of the bed, and he just starts sliding the bed, and you slip and fall down, not realizing he was going to push it so quickly. It's that moment you have like all your weight pushing against something, and then it moves away, and you and then he slides the bed the rest of the way. Remind me never to ask you for help with anything like that again.
You take 6 psychic damage.
Yeah, 6 psychic damage. Shame. And
Emotion.
with that, you watch as the bed now entirely pushed to the side of the room. You see what's beneath it is a glass case. Instead of wood flooring, you see it's like a thick layer of like some sort of crystal or glass. And behind it, laying on its back, is a bookshelf. Like it's just standing up and then laid on its back, there are books lining the bookshelf, entirely filling it. So like every book is like held up by the next book so that they still stay like that, unless they're magically being held that way. And you watch him, just a moment, you watch him kind of twist his hands around and some arcane glyphs kind of appear in the air, and as he does, you notice a strange little device in his hand, full of gears and stuff that he's kind of twisting within his hands. And you watch as a chain from one side, the thing that he's holding in his right hand, shoots across to the thing in his left hand, and then he twists them, and magic kind of fuses these two pieces of metal together, and then it pulls it together. And this little block of like gears and metal is now sitting in his hands. And as it does that, you watch the crystal split down the center and slide down and then away from the floor, revealing these books. The only reason I felt perfectly fine showing you that is because I don't think you'll ever know what it meant.
You stupid man.
Remind me the book you're looking for.
Dr. Seuss.
Oh, the cat in the hat.
The cat
Yes.
in the hat.
One fish, two fish.
I'm partial to one fish, two fish. But
In your personal library.
my personal library is entirely children's books, actually.
It's the author is quite well known. It's Berengar Silverstring.
Oh, you want fantasy? Well, not fantasy, but
All fantasy is rooted in reality. It's the bane of Ulthar.
the Bane of Sorry?
Ulthar.
One of Berengar's more cryptic writings. Yes, I do have it. That's right. I forgot that you asked me for that one. You wanted to take it, right?
Yes.
All right. If you ever come back to town and you're done with it, I would ask, as long as you're done with it, that I get it back, maybe?
Once I'm done with it, I have no use for it.
That's what I figured. If that day comes and you're here or I see you again, I would love it back.
By all means.
I did promise it to you, but I only promised it to you because I know I have the means of getting another one more easily, but if I can't, I'd like to recomplete my collection. So, I have all of Berengar's works. I love his writing. There's a few I have not been able to find because he was fairly elusive in his later days before his death. He went a little senile and started writing strange things that people mostly threw away, but doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
He, at that kind of like, there's a moment where he's like, okay. And then he starts thumbing through the books, and with careful, precise calculation, he knows exactly where the book is. He grabs it, pulls it forward out of the row of books. All the books stay in place, and he hands it to you. It's a small book. It's very old. It's hundreds of years old, and it is kind of moth-eaten, or like looks like some sort of insects have gotten to it at in some places, but it looks like at one point it was fully leather-bound. He goes, "Oh, this is a nice edition of this book, actually. It's not the nicest, but it is decent. So be kind to it."
I pull out a leather pouch fitted for books, and it's got like a wax rubbing on the outside, and it seems like it's meant to keep some sort of literature in good care, and I slide it in.
Waterproofing.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I appreciate seeing that, actually. That puts my mind at ease a little bit, knowing I'm letting this go. I was never particularly partial to this story. I find it a bit gloomy. Not his best, but not his worst. But enjoy it. He hands it to you. Keep in mind, it is a story. Although, it is said that all of his writings were true.
Remember, it's fiction, but it's all true.
Well, I didn't say it was fiction. I said, remember, it's a story. Meaning, whether it's true or not, most things are embellished. Get out of here, Herlick. You're not even here.
Thank you. I don't suppose you know where I could find a few other books I have written down.
A few, sorry?
I have some other books I'm looking for. I don't suppose you'd know where I could find them.
I may have them. Now, you've done one very good deed for me. I'm not necessarily going to part with more of them based on that.
I'm willing to spend good money.
Okay.
Hastur's epitome on the afterlife and inner workings of the soul.
I can't say I've heard of it, actually.
The Mysteries of Necrosis and Necrotic Energies and the Effects Thereof by Abdalia Hazaret.
By who, sorry?
Abdalia Hazaret, old sorcerer.
I know the name, but the title of the book eludes me, but I know the author, and only known to have written 3 volumes, or 3 different, I haven't heard of that one, though. I'm sorry, I can't. I guess my hubris got the best of me, and I assumed that I would have the books you're looking for, but I don't.
That's all right. Frankly, I don't even know if most of the books are real. I've heard of them in passing and reference.
That was going to be my next question, where you heard of these books. And why you want them.
I'm a fiend for literature.
You're a fiend for literature, huh?
It's a saying, I think.
Not a saying I've ever heard.
Well, I appreciate the book, and I'm quite famished, so goodbye.
Would you care to trade information?
Pertaining to what?
Well, now you've piqued my curiosity. I'd like to know why you want the books, and I might have a name to send you for another one.
What do I have that could be of... What do I have that I could offer you, other than money?
Well, I said trade information. I'd like to know why you want the books, and I might be able to give you a name of someone who may have one of those books.
Research. I have a natural talent for sword fighting, not pushing beds out of the way, apparently, but I'm more interested in the arcane and certain manipulations of it.
Vague answer.
That's the best I can give.
Well, okay. Fair enough. And he pulls the piece of iron in his hand apart, and you watch the crystal reform, or go back to its position and reseal shut. Enjoy the book. I hope it's of some help to you and helps you with your research.
What information are you looking for?
It seems like you gave me a very general answer for why you want them. You just said research.
Is his door open?
About the arcane. These are weird books to be wondering about research of the arcane. You know, every new whelp and student, apprentice mage would say they're researching arcane. They wouldn't start with these books.
Is there a window in this room?
There is. No. There is. It's that, really, really finely crafted, gilded in gold, stained glass window. But it doesn't... He had said at one point it doesn't open.
No curtains.
No curtains because you can't see it from the outside.
That's right. Is there any way of someone seeing through that window? From the outside?
This was asked of me before, and as I said before, the enchantments I've placed on it make it entirely undetectable. However, should there be some sort of mage more powerful than I who has found a way to do it, I cannot be certain. But to the best of my knowledge, you cannot see past through that window. I could not even see through it.
Oh, well.
Unless I dispelled my enchantment.
As far as metrics go, you're the most powerful mage I've met. So
Well,
that's
I'm flattered.
reassuring. Good.
Probably the most powerful you'll ever meet.
Are you?
Wait, you know Edricor, don't you?
Pardon me?
You met Edricor, didn't you?
From the coastal town.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm way more powerful than him.
I'm gonna roll inside on that.
Okay.
I believe him.
At least in some ways, more powerful.
Are you a keeper of secrets? A good keeper of secrets?
Oh, you have no idea.
I really don't. That's why I'm asking.
I've seen more things that should be kept secret than there are bandages on your body.
That is...
Let me tell you about all of them. The first one.
The only piece of information of real worth I can give you would be to show you the nature of my affliction. It's non-contagious. And I can promise it's not something you've seen before.
Do you wish to show me because you want me to give you any information I can on it?
That's the only reason I'm willing to.
I can tell you, before you do, I'm not trained in any way in medicine. I'm a skilled artificer. And...
How long have you lived here?
In Tradeacre?
Yes.
61 years.
Oh, that's long enough.
What does that mean?
I stand up straight. I take my hood off and I begin to undo the bandages on my face.
All right, and he kind of just watches as... Are you just going to do the bandage on your head?
Yeah.
Is
a girl?
The most beautiful woman you've ever seen.
He looks at you.
Yeah.
You're not going to describe it, are you? Because he already knows what it is.
Explain in grave detail. Emphasis on grave.
You're right. The condition I've never seen before. But this I have. What I see in front of me, I know very well. And I'm very confused.
I am also. And
he's just staring at your eyes.
Which are distinct and different.
Yeah. There are two conflicting messages screaming at me right now, and they don't add up. And you can't explain to me why I see what I see? Because
I can offer you an explanation, but it is not intellectually satisfying.
Oh, that's rotten.
Yes. This is
rotten.
all I've ever known. And it is
For
not
how
mine.
long have you been afflicted?
A year, little over. In fact, almost just after a year, actually.
So, confused. Your affliction, as you said, is not... You may have said it's not contagious, but it is dangerous.
Perhaps.
Oh, I wish I hadn't asked. Because now I know.
It is a burden, hence the bandages.
I spoke to Titus earlier about the burdens of knowledge and dangerous knowledge, and here I am inviting more into my brain, into my home.
I take a hearty step forward and
Backs up a little bit. No,
I would greatly appreciate a name.
appreciate a name. Oh, right, a name for another one of those books, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I have an old friend of mine, and I will divulge information to you that is relatively secret here. It's not necessarily... Well, it's not that crazy. You already know of myself, you know of Olivia, and you know of Edricor, all within a specific order. Now, this friend of mine happens to also be a member of this order. Your friends Cephas, Pollock, and Clonus have already met him. His name is Theric Oakwish. He is a mayor of Wild Valley and a cleric of Kadal. I recommend you speak to him. And I also recommend you... Well, it's your decision who you share your affliction with. I'm more than certain he'll have one, if not both, of the books you're looking for. He'll certainly have more insight into your situation than I would. I tinker with things. I invent. He deals with the soul. But more importantly than that, he collects books.
That is what I'm after. I do appreciate getting to know you.
I've enjoyed getting to know you as well. You do good work. You are quick and decisive, and I respect that. It's important in a warrior. But you have an intriguing mind, and more than that, you have a strange complication.
Yes.
Makes for an interesting story. So I'm excited to see where you end up.
To think you're very powerful, and I'm a bit of a brute who likes to think he's pretty strong. If this secret was to get out, I would be a very painful thorn in your side.
You would?
I would.
Oh, you mean if I let it slip?
Yes.
Roll an intimidation check.
Yeah.
Are you threatening me?
It's important.
8.
Oh,
He looks at you.
It's a good threat when they don't really know that you're threatening them.
Yeah.
Understood. I will keep that in mind.
I begin to...
And I can assure you,
my face up.
I have zero desire for anyone to know that I know you exist.
I think I like that.
Wow.
That it was meant to be comforting.
I will redo my bandages and leave.
Well, let them know I'll be down in a minute. I'm excited for lunch.
So what
It
did
smells
I
delicious.
see when I was peering through the door?
You were peering through the door?
Yeah.
Did you follow him?
Of course, I've been following Edovar this whole time.
Okay, roll a stealth check.
No, I
You know? That'd be a great way of doing it.
I was thinking about messaging you that when he went up there on the cell phone. But then I realized that
Cephas doesn't have a cell phone.
I owe him a pamphlet. And I'm more devoted to giving him a pamphlet than I am eavesdropping.
But this was the one time that you needed to eavesdrop.
Yeah, but I thought about messaging or sending him a text message before any of this was happening, and then when it did happen, I didn't want to go back. So I missed my internal opportunity.
I think this was more interesting. So you have your name. Speak to Theric. Tell him I sent you. If you go with your friends, I don't know what the 8 of you have planned and if you intend to travel together anymore, but if the 8 of you do go together and you speak to Theric, he'll see the 3 of them and know who they are, but still tell him I sent you. Still tell him why I told you to speak to him, and he'll give you the time of day. If not, he probably wouldn't. He has a big head, and he likes to think he doesn't have very much time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy lunch.
Yes.
All right, and as soon as you shut the door behind you, you hear of the locks within, and then again, lingering for just a moment, you do hear that.
Is there a keyhole?
That like metal whirring sound. There is a keyhole.
Can I look through it?
Sure, make a perception check with disadvantage.
Oh, bummer!
Oh boy. The same number twice. 16.
Okay. Peering through it, it is like full of little like tumblers and stuff inside, blocking your way. It's not one of those like cartoonish open ones. But you can just barely see a dull green glow coming from within that occasionally flickers.
I don't want to push it. I head back down.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
Okay.
You lingered long enough.
Disadvantage. Because
He would be surprised to only now hear your footsteps leaving.
11.
11? Okay. You walk downstairs and return to a wonderful smelling kitchen. I mean, there's spices and this delicious smelling gravy being cooked, and it smells great. The 8 of you, some of you notice now that he's coming back, that Edovard was gone at all. He's very good at just kind of walking away and no one noticing. And then 10 or so minutes later, Arthur comes down, rejuvenated. He seems happy, and he walks down with a little bit of paper rolled up in his hand, and oh my, that smells delicious. Ghibli, you're doing the cooking. I never would have expected that, actually. It's not often that, well, never mind, that was racist.
I wouldn't have, never mind, that was racist.
I've dabbled in cooking every once in a while.
It just surprises me. I mean, because it's good.
Because of your height.
So, what are you making?
I'm making some cooking up some venison pot roast style with some carrots and potatoes to go with it, along with some gravy and a couple of seared vegetables and some bacon.
Oh, is that an old dwarven recipe?
No.
Oh.
Not really.
No. Well, it smells delicious. And you guys, within an hour or so, have a delicious meal. It is, for some of you who have lived off of like travel rations for the last 2 weeks, except for that one meal you had here at Arthur's and any meals you've had at like taverns, this is the best thing you've had in a very long time.
It's like an inspiring meal.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's inspiring because of what you all just did, but it's also, for the first time, like the 8 of you have a moment where you're sharing a meal together, like you did when you first met. But the difference being then, you had no idea who each other were. Now, you've gone through the ringer, you've enjoyed, an arena battle together, you've cheered each other on, you've celebrated with one another, you've tracked down a fiend, defended yourself against it, killed it, and traveled the road. So there's a new sense in the air to it. There's already there's the beginnings of Holik and Lumen sharing an inside joke about something that happened over the dinner table, and the 2 friends you had before, there's kind of some camaraderie across the table.
Us discussing the best way to have a backpack on my...
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss that with you while we were also helping you write pamphlets.
Oh,
okay. So when you were writing pamphlets over there, I did sneak over and
I've got some designs.
Looking over and watching and writing and looking over and watching and writing. After my first one, I had it memorized, so I just kept writing. Other ones free.
And a bit, something that you don't actually notice your characters, but as players I will tell you, it's just that kind of moment where if in the future you were to think back on this moment in hindsight, you would realize that without knowing it at the time, you were already passively making future plans with one another. There's moments of, like the 2 of you say, you're talking about, we should do it better this time this way. And even between Ghibli and Venora, thinking this turned out really good, but I think next time we make this, I'll make it this way. Lumen discussing with the 2 of them, if you try this, and actually I can use this magical means of, putting these tools, there's just different things across the table that none of you are insightful enough in this moment to make note of it. but Arthur does, and Arthur is pleased.
Oh.
As you all sit and enjoy your meal, it's delicious. There's plenty of it. There's plenty left over, and Arthur kind of at the end of it, he's been stuffing his face full of different foods, and just seemingly he's loving it more than anybody else here. You kind of get a glint of, he probably doesn't eat as well as you would expect him to, because he probably doesn't like to cook for himself.
He's like a bachelor that only
Kind of, but he's very old too, so he'll make oatmeal for every meal if it comes to it. He doesn't care.
I thought you were saying he doesn't eat as well as we expect him to, as in right now.
He doesn't eat with you?
Because he's thinking of him.
No, he does eat with you.
No, eat as well as
He's eating his meal. He looks over and kind of almost spits up his food.
No, he's loving every moment of it. And he's soaking in social interaction, which he's a social butterfly, but he doesn't often have this many house guests. So, and he likes to mention that, how much he loves having you guys here. But as the meal's beginning to come to a close, he kind of as if you guys are in a high-class situation, he holds up his little clay cup and and it chips.
Aww.
He sets it down. I can get more. And Titus, you've seen how much money this guy has. He basically lives in squalor, and he doesn't care.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He goes, because if you remember, he only has 4 spoons and 4 forks, so some of you guys are using spoons, some of you are using forks.
Somebody's not even using.
I said the table.
Him. He decided to use it. Everybody.
Just so everyone's aware, the other fork users are Venora and Cephas.
Okay. Who got special treatment?
I prefer a spoon anyway.
Dude, my big hands, I couldn't pick a thing off the...
I
did it because it's funny when he uses a fork because he feels obligated to use it.
It looks like those tiny
he should
forks.
be using just his hands.
Those tiny forks that you put appetizers on, but that's what it looks like in Cephas' hands. He's just picking up a whole chunk of meat, but it looks like an appetizer in his. So, as dinner comes to a close here, I have a couple questions for the 8 of you. First, congratulations. All the accolades you deserve. You did something magnificent. To be perfectly honest about it, you stopped a demon from killing me, you chased the demon down, and then you killed a demon. Very impressive. If I may be so forward, I think we're friends. What are your plans now? Have you even considered? And also, are the 8 of you moving on from here together or separately?
Well, we have to stay together because Ghibli fights in Fort Trinity. We all gotta go cheer him on.
Very true.
I have to follow along. I didn't know how this ends.
Maybe another beast I can slam to the ground too.
That was a very impressive and great show you put on there.
Not as good as yours, but it was mighty fun. Good test of strength.
How much time's left in the summer?
In the summer?
Yeah.
I'll tell you in a minute.
And then as a travel game, as we all travel, I think we should all draw a picture of what we think Edivard looks like under his bandages, and whoever's closest wins.
I like that game. I like that game a lot.
I don't.
I don't.
We're all ready for the great reveal, Edivar.
At the dinner table?
Ain't that right, Weasel?
That's a nice colloquial little name, Weasel.
No.
Yeah, that's a fun nickname.
I get it because you were the one that drew the short
I'm sure
straw.
that'll stick a long time.
Ooh, I have to ask. I haven't used that on anybody before. How did it feel? You had your mental faculties intact still, right? It should have been your brain in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed
You did?
like...
Good.
Kind of.
So you
Not
weren't the
really.
weasel. You were able to speak and communicate.
No, he was definitely a weasel.
I was the weasel.
Yes, that was intentional.
It's like a dream. What was like a dream.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
You make a mighty fine weasel, though.
I would be willing to stick around if we could circle back at some point to Wild Valley. I know you've been there.
I would like to return.
That's
but
good.
depending on how much time.
Well, don't Do you have a fight in Wild Valley?
It was Trinity Fort, right?
Fort Trinity is your next one. And then...
What's the circuit? How many fights are there?
So there should be... Let me double check my...
Your next fight is in Fort Trinity?
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be correct.
I may have somewhere we could stay.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh. Sorry?
Would I have heard any word about my church?
About Fort Trinity?
No, about what I'm supposed to be doing here.
You have a letter.
I do, but is there anything else besides the letter?
Nothing new has come. You can ask Arthur if something has come for you. But I'll just say, nothing is... Arthur hasn't said there's anything for you, mail-wise. The last direction you were given is what was in that letter. It was past Tradeacre.
I just want to make sure I can keep going.
Yeah, it's in the direction that they're intending to go. But I'm pretty sure there's over a month left in summer.
Okay.
Because my intention was to start in the middle of summer with the campaign.
Okay. And there's ways of sending letters, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you go to the city hall is where you probably could find somebody, find a courier and stuff. It costs money.
Yeah.
And depending, economies shift, especially with the possibility of wartime being on the horizon, but hasn't really hit Reskelia yet, so it shouldn't be too expensive. But yeah, you can find out. Well, it sounds like you all intend to travel together then, and Fort Trinity is your next stop.
So it would seem.
How long until your fight?
It's about a month. It's about a month away.
Oh, got time.
I still need to spar with you.
Yes.
I'm sensing the pattern that they give them just enough time to travel to the next fight.
That would make sense. You asked about the circuit, how many fights are in it?
Yeah.
So for the summer, or for this year's circuit, Ghibli, you would know. You already fought in Port Duro. No, you did not. Your first fight was the one that was in the last one, which was in... No, that was in Port Duro. That was in Port Duro. It was them that was in Basin Point. Yeah. So your first one was in Port Duro. You skipped over Basin Point. You went to Tradeacre for your second one.
Yes.
Your next one is in Fort Trinity, so it takes you all the way up to northern Reskelia. Mm-hmm. And then you circle back down to Wild Valley for your fourth one. You go down to Basin Point for your fifth one. You go up to Sunwall for your sixth one. And then your final fight... you go up to Stillhold for your sixth one, and then Sunwall. And then your final fight's in the capital city, Steelhaven.
So we're gonna go.
So Wild Valley's right after Fort Trinity.
Yeah, that takes me where I would need to go back to, at least for a time.
A small detour to cheer on a friend.
If you are all willing to join me.
So that travel between... Yeah, there are some stops on that there are decently long bits of traveling, but yeah.
Titus, I hope this doesn't come off as demeaning, but do you have parents?
No.
Okay. He's a child.
Right.
Nobody else going to.
So, do you guys have parents? I've just been by myself for literally as far as I can remember.
How far is that?
I guess, how old are you, Titus?
Oh, 10.
You sound very confident in that answer.
Can I roll insight on that?
Well, if you're a kid all alone in the wild, I can't really imagine you being able to keep time.
I believe him.
Dude, that's your second or third one where you rolled insight.
I believe him.
I have advantage on deception checks.
Yeah, you're gonna beat it.
Wait, you have advantage on deception?
Sure do.
It's called the liar skill.
Oh,
That's cool.
I still believe you.
I'll just tell you guys, Titus doesn't know how old he is. He says 10, but he's more like 8.
He's 8?
Yeah.
He's a turtle. He's a child.
I guess
turtle.
turtles don't have very long lifespans.
Adult is 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
So he's like a
adolescent.
human 12-year-old, I
9-year-old.
guess.
Okay, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
We'll go 9. He says 10 because it's a double-digit number, so...
Makes him sound
That's
older.
pretty cool.
And it's highest he counts.
How many fingers I got?
So whenever
Pretty sure
people
he
like,
has 6.
I'll pay you, and it's like a really big job. It's like 10.
They're like, it's worth a lot. He's like, what?
You want us to take down Asmodeus? It's gonna be 10 gold.
You drive a hard bargain, kid.
Never send Titus to do your negotiations.
They wanted to give us like 200 or something. I said no.
Oh my, that's a lot to carry. Just give me 10.
Okay, so
I can
Arthur kind of clears his throat. Well, this is remarkably heartwarming. I'm seeing the beginnings of something beautiful. You know, I've heard stories of those who were able to be there at the creation of groups of heroes. And it's safe to say I still don't know what they feel like. I'm kidding. I'm sure you're going to do a lot of good.
Well, maybe.
Hopefully. It's been great to get to know you. I'm going to miss you. And if I ever see you in the future or I have work for you, who should I... Benora, here. And he hands you this little, it's like a little metal card. It has no writing on it, no inscription. It just looks like playing card size, but it is just flat, like gunmetal gray metal. It's fairly heavy too. It's pretty thick. It's not playing card like thickness. It's like, I don't know, like quarter of an inch.
Oh.
Hands it to you. It's heavier than you would expect. If I ever have work for you and you're not in the area, I will use this to get a hold of you. It'll work once, and then it's done.
And it explodes.
And then it will explode. And if you're in town and you feel like visiting an old man who could use some, people to talk to, then come by and we can chat.
Will definitely be our stopping point whenever we're this way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, travel safely.
Is it a one-way message?
Oh, you'll be able to speak to me for a few moments. This is only if I am in dire need of a group of people to help me with something, and I don't know, hopefully that day doesn't come because that's scary, but if it does, I can see you all again. And if you ever need anything and you have means of contacting me, please, you may reach out. I'd love to help you however I can.
Speaking of dire needs, do any of the other people in your group get plagued with demons recently, or is it...
Well, Olivia was, and based off of the task that we all agreed to do so many years ago, we knew we were expecting something like this to happen someday, maybe. And since it was, we knew how to deal with it, which is to all lock down and prepare. And we had means of figuring out who we thought would be next on the chopping block. And they determined that it was me, and they were right. As was made abundantly clear, because you found Olivia's artifact, the Paramount Sphere that was stolen from her, this is the same creature that attacked her. Also, by the admission of Ghibli and Titus here, they saw it, right? So because we know it was the same one, we can assume there are not more, but we will be on high alert for the next few weeks, maybe months. And if anything happens, we will be prepared to maybe call you back in to help us again, or maybe seek other means of defending ourselves. But I've spoken with a few of them last night, assuming that this went well, and it did. And we are confident that this was not only the same one, but the only one acting.
Good.
Because since he was, holed up near me and was the same one who attacked, it's safe to assume that there were not more. And if there were, we're assuming they would have attacked at the same time, as to not drag out whatever plan they had.
Another question. Do you know anything about... what are they called? Venom Thorn?
Venom Thorn. Is it a poison?
It's the highwaymen.
Oh, the old bandits and highwaymen, yes. They plagued the roads up and down Raskelia, north of Tradeacre mostly, but a little bit, kind of all over. Mostly between Tradeacre and Stillhold, but I think I heard from time to time that they kind of bled over to Wild Valley a little bit, but yeah, I'm familiar. What about them?
We think we found them.
That's right. They hadn't, we've been hearing that the Crown took care of them.
They're all corpses in their bunker, where I think it was
Well, not
a bunker.
really corpses.
No, more like
scattered
of bones.
and piled bones.
Ooh.
No flesh.
That doesn't sound like the Crown's work at all.
No, and
No.
everything was rusted. If that is any
And then
other
the Wraith brought a few of them to, animated them.
Oh, so those are the beings
Yeah.
he was bringing with him.
The, shadow
Sure
skeletons.
seems like it.
Yeah.
Considering the ones we saw in the tower seem to be clothed in some
So,
kind of
working
shadowy
theory,
garb.
Shadow Fiend shows up, Highwaymen's headquarters, slaughters all of them, uses their corpses and bones as minions.
Something
Why?
like that. But
There were upwards of 30, maybe 50 of those highwaymen. I mean, the exact number of them is unknown, but there had to be. We know how many of them were in different places at once.
There were multiple piles, and one room was stacked almost to the
How many do you think we
10-foot
saw?
ceiling.
Really?
It takes a lot
Pile
of
of
bones
bones
to make a
and-
pile. A lot of
And
bodies.
there was weaponry and pieces of wood and stuff, but it was
Can I make like a
there were a lot of people that got
yeah,
killed.
like a check, like see how many I think.
Roll an
were
intelligence
there?
check, yeah. I mean, my point about that was not to say that there were few.
No.
My point about that was to say that
I don't know if
because of how many there were, that was a powerful creature, but that still surprises me that it
Yeah.
could have killed all of them.
that's
And to
That's
such a
what-
degree.
Concerning.
yeah, because they seem to have been holding bunkering down in that.
On a map, could you point me to the location of this?
Yeah.
It's only like
And-
2 hours out of town.
Okay.
To be fair, we did see the creature's capabilities. It made our friend Holakir swing at Venora. Perhaps the creature didn't do most of the heavy lifting and instead got them to do it themselves.
There was one
Smart. I did
large
not think of that.
I'm kind of intelligent.
Goliath or
I
half
didn't
orc or
make that
something.
roll.
Can't tell, but I'm smart.
Probably said to be their leader. I've heard of him.
Smugly.
We
There
have
was-
his.
There was rumored sketches of what their leader looked like, and he was said to be a brutish Goliath man.
Well,
Fit description.
is there a chance that Cephas is perhaps the leader in disguise? Just saying, we shouldn't completely relinquish that idea.
Do you care to reveal your true identity here, Cephas, as the leader of the Venom Thorn Highwaymen?
No, I don't keep secrets. Not me.
Cryptic and strange.
Insight check.
I have advantage on insight check.
You can roll a persuasion or deception and keep secret which one you're rolling, and then let people know what they find
20.
out.
17.
19.
Okay. So his 20 beats that, so you can tell him what his insight garners him.
Can't remember who had the map.
There was a map that you guys found in the headquarters.
Yeah.
That the leader had.
I think grabbed it.
Well, Cephas is the one that found that stuff.
Yeah. So I assume.
So I'm assuming Cephas has it.
Unless you gave it to someone else.
The what?
The map.
The map
Yeah.
you guys found.
Yeah. I'll give the map.
And I sent that to the group chat, so you guys have it on your
Yeah.
phones. It shows the major roads and stuff of the of Raskelia. Fitting that the highwaymen would have one with all the major roads on it.
And I heard there was a bounty for these folks.
Oh yes, I mean if you have information about where their headquarters is and proof that it is theirs, and the city guard will send people out to ensure that they're all dead. I suppose you could take credit for their.
if
You
the
did
crown's
grab
already
banners.
Yes,
taking
I have the
credit
banner
for, are we
and
going to get in
the-
trouble?
I don't know if officially the crown has. The public has just assumed that
Okay.
Because the attacks have stopped.
if the crown dealt with it themselves, then the bounty wouldn't have to be paid to anyone, and nobody's claimed the bounty, and nobody's seen them for so long. It's been assumed the crown totook care of it.
How long has it
Well,
been?
if
About 2 or 3 months,
How
I think.
fast does armor and things rust to the degree that we saw it? Because it was significant, right? Like,
Some of it was weirdly significant, but other stuff was just like lightly
it was just
rusted.
the room that we were in.
There was a room you were in where it was weirdly corroded and significantly rusted, not naturally.
Interesting.
I can only assume where a demon makes its nesting place, it could have some otherworldly effects on the.
Yeah.
if we when we are leaving, if we tell the guards where to go and they deem that we deserve the reward for the headquarters or whatever, can we have them bring it here to you to hold it since we'll be traveling?
Ooh.
And then maybe...
Since I assume you want to leave quickly, they will trust my authority. I will tell them that by my name, you're telling the truth, and they should front you the bounty.
Oh, you're so precious.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
That's a high place.
So you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
For them to
Also,
I assume you all want to leave today.
Are we leaving today?
What do you know
I'd
about
like to.
the Zutha Watchers?
About the... Sorry?
The Zutha Watchers?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Zutha Watchers.
Zutha Watchers.
Oh, the Zuthis Watch?
Yeah.
That's right.
What do I know about them? Well, I'm a well-studied man. I know many, many things, Titus, and one of those things happens to be that the Zuthis Watch is... What about them?
Perverse.
Some religions seem insane to others. Perverse is
Cultish.
maybe... Cultish is closer. My understanding is the Zuthis Church is in disarray. It has been for a very long time. Zuthis is lightly worshipped, but the Zuthis Watch is a more recent development across Rascalia. It's a small group of self-proclaimed Zuthis worshippers who seek to fully revive his church. Zuthis, as far as I'm aware, is not... He is regarded as a deity, as one of the primary... Well, he's very old and mostly forgotten. Most people wouldn't even know the name if you said it, whereas most, especially in this area, when you say the name Barlow and they know it, whether they worship her or not, or you say the name Leoric, he's very well known. Zuthis is old, very, very old, and as far as I know, the Zuthis Church proclaims he is first and the oldest of deities.
Would you say that this watch is bad? They're pretty...
I would not
scary.
say that the Zuthis Church was ever bad. I've met very few, but a few individuals who do worship Zuthis. And he's said to be a light and to be the one he's the revelatory light in the darkness. It's a altruistic intention. Zuthis is not evil. And his church does not proclaim to be. The Zuthis Watch...
They seem to be very radical.
I would say fanatical is an astute observation. The Zuthis Watch, when you don't have the fundamentals of a church to keep you in check. For example, if there were a group of farmers who started going by the Barlow Watch, and they were patrolling countrysides, enforcing what they were proclaiming to be Barlow's laws. There's a pretty formidable and large Barlow church in the area who would swiftly and adequately, I would assume, correct them. It is not that for the Zuthis Watch. So, as far as everyone's aware, what they say, Zuthis says, nobody can argue with them.
Well, as we travel, we should spar. I feel like I have some more skills than I did before.
If you want me to tell you something that might make you feel a little bit more uneasy about them too, Zuthis...
Absolutely.
Zuthis is very commonly worshipped in Taproasia, north.
I don't know what that is.
That makes sense.
A tap god.
Who's Taproasia?
He is not a Taproasian deity, as far as I'm aware, by nature. The thing is, the civilizations in Taproasia, not their crown, not their emperor. There are no official deities other than Sugrami in Taproasia. But the common people, they take great solace in Zuthis because of his flame and how bitingly cold it is up there. It makes sense that the citizens would cling to a deity who promises them warmth and revelation of truth. Because they've had it hard their entire lives.
Well, I wouldn't say that I think we should attack that group for no reason. But
Can I ask why you're asking about them?
well, they're the reason that I'm here. I used to live in the mountains, and the leaders, I mean, they're pretty scary. And when he spoke to me years ago, it burned.
He hurt you.
I ran away. And then I saw them walking again, so I ran to get away from them. I jumped in the river, but I couldn't swim as hard as I thought, and I got swept to the lake and ended up in Port Row. That's where I met Ghibli. And then 2 of them recognized me in a bar and tried to take me, and Ghibli defended me. And we killed one of them, and the other one ran away. He was one of the guys with the leader on the horse. And I was just so scared I didn't want to move. But we just killed a demon. So, and they're just people. So I don't want to be scared of them anymore.
I think that's an admirable way of looking at it, Titus, but I wouldn't discount people just because they're people. I'm not telling you to be afraid of them, but I am telling you to not underestimate them.
But you do have 7 more people around you that can help beat up some guy in a fire cloak.
Yeah.
Plus, I'd like
But
to
I don't
have
think
his
we should
cloak.
go around just beating people up because we think they're bad.
Only if they come at you.
Maybe.
I don't think we should start fights, but we should definitely finish them.
Well
Could
said.
be.
And I'll just walk up to him, just patching the back, just shaking my hands.
We encountered them in the fields last night.
Did they give you trouble?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
It was just weird.
I've heard them to be a presumptuous lot.
It was
Certainly.
awkward at best and worst. It was a weird time.
They're fairly inquisitive as well.
Yeah.
Ew.
Very nosy.
When you claim to be the mouthpiece of revelation, it only stands to
They
reason.
seem to
Yeah, they
tote
kind of carry an
authority.
authority that they don't really have.
Took the words right out of my
It's
mouth.
interesting.
What was their exact phrase? Wiping the lands of darkness.
Purging.
Well, that sounds fairly...
Well, they touched
Really
the
good.
emblem, and now it's all firing.
Yeah.
Is it still that way, or would it have changed today?
You ought to change that. Hey, take a look at this. I show him the hands of Ilmater. This is much better, isn't it? Unless you really like those flames that represent the people that abused a child. What kind of man are you, Lumen?
But also,
Okay,
like you
okay.
said, the god does not represent what that guy did.
No, keep going. I like this.
I'm still waiting on a pamphlet from you.
Have I finished one?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, while they cooked for over an hour. Go ahead and roll roll 2 d12s, and Byron, you can roll a d8 to see how many total you guys have created.
Dang, you guys are chomping them out.
Yeah.
How many
Not
did you
really.
get? 2?
Dude, I did 6 and he did 5.
That's quite a bit. He's got 11.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I could have rolled much higher, but
Yeah.
In the time when they were doing
writes all
that, I
day.
would've had
He literally
Blacksmith
watched you write one, and then just
pamphlet.
outpaced.
same
You
thing.
guys are
He just
waiting last
did the
night, so you're
tracing
just, like,
paper thing.
Really into it, like
Okay, go ahead and start that over to Mike.
meticulous.
During when they were making it, and I would have had the flame out and then studied the pamphlet that he gave me, and then so when he finally came around to finishing the pamphlets and had extra ones for me, then I'd finally be able to change my emblem to a more appropriate one.
So you do change your emblem now? Okay, so you watch as this almost animated clay that is flame right now, you hand him the pamphlets, and without, I mean, you don't know this, but he was observing you making them anyway, and you watch the clay slowly shift to perfectly replicate your holy symbol made of this kind of rustic-looking clay.
You see me smile.
You were shifting it,
Never
right?
seen me smile. Ilmater be glorified. I like this one.
The detail in it, it's more intricately detailed than even your tarnished silver one.
Let me see that. I just... Oh, this is beautiful. Where'd you get this?
kind of like a family heirloom.
I love it.
Divine clay.
You ought to keep it like this forever. That's what I think.
For a while, at least.
Well,
impressive
may
magic.
made to capture your heart then.
And then I hand it back to him.
Okay.
Oh, but you see me happy. I cast bless on myself.
Okay. Good. Do you really?
Yeah.
Blessed be thy name and myself.
I'm gonna bless myself.
Do I notice this?
No, and Lumen.
Okay, yeah, I would say you guys notice in his like exuberance, like his absolute happiness, you watch as when he says, "May he capture your heart," there is power in his words when he says it, and all of you for a moment feel like kind of inspired a little bit by his words, more so than what may be normal. There's a resonance with it, and then there is a divine kind of golden glow from his hand as he hands it back, and you feel very good, Lumen. There's just in your heart. All of you feel this except for you, Edovard.
From the outside, you just barely hear.
Are you outside?
No, you just hear that.
Familiar.
His
There
familiar
is
dying.
those that like resonance within the words, where to everybody else feels like powerful and good. To you feels like somebody is taking a tuning fork and putting it right up to your ear as it's vibrating. Like so, it's just like, zzz,
But you like it.
you don't like it.
I don't like it.
All right. Well, let's go collect our bounty. But first,
Rather, it doesn't like you.
That's fair.
someone needs to do the jiffes, and someone needs to put all the extra food in the little bowls and then cover them with parchment, and then put them in the cooler thing so that way the food doesn't go bad.
Yes. And he snaps his fingers, and you watch as all of the bowls kind of like grow little legs and start walking around and filling them. Not human legs.
My mind pictured pasty white human legs.
No, like little gizmo, like tiny little.
They all get Isle of Man.
No, they look like tiny little magical gizmo legs pop out, like these little metallic robot crab legs pop out, and they like all the food that's left over kind of pours into some different bowls and stuff, and then wraps themselves up in linens, and then all within the matter of like a minute and a half, all present themselves in front of you guys in basically to-go containers. It's all like clay bowls and stuff that can be reused, but are stuff safe for travel, because if it breaks, it breaks.
We live so differently.
Yes. And then it's a matter of like 10 or so little bowls, and there's some of everything left. And then he goes, the dishes are nothing. And you watch him kind of levitate everything up and put it in like the sink area. And then he just kind of like starts snapping his fingers a bunch of times, and each individual plate and dish like just clean. Go. Get out of here. Don't let me hold you back anymore.
Oh, I have something for you. In case you ever brew another weasel potion, I made a harness.
Sorry?
I made a harness.
Oh, a lead?
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
They can get a bit wily.
Maybe I should just get a pet weasel. It was a
They are
ferret,
adorable.
actually.
Sure.
Is it the most adorable ferret?
Ferret, weasel,
I think I'll do it.
It's all the same.
I think I'll make one out of metal.
Oh,
Oh.
I have something for you. And I pull out a little mechanical canary
Whoa. Where did you get that?
in a pile of garbage. Off the
Thanks, you
coast.
thought of me.
Yes. Perhaps you can spring some life into it.
I think I can. Next time you see me, I'll have a wonderful, lively, mechanical canary. With a harness on it. Thank you, Edovine. That's very sweet of you. You do have a heart in there. But it's dead.
Ugh.
Well, that interaction was cold.
Incredibly rude thing to say.
Sorry.
When do we plan
Punch
on
me, I
leaving?
bleed.
Wow.
I mean,
That's very poetic. Who is that?
I mean, we should probably leave soon.
Tobias
We're leaving to go get the bounty.
World-renowned
And
poet
then after
Tobias
the bounty,
Maguias.
we plan on leaving town.
Yeah.
I'd like to get some spell components.
Yeah, we should
And
get.
then go.
I'd like to
wines
visit
and
the
stuff.
blacksmith if I could.
Because we don't know how long the travel could be. Maybe there's bad conditions that might take longer. So we want to make sure we have time to get there early.
Well, we already have a extra
Wait,
week.
where are
right?
we going tonight?
Fort Trinity?
But we can't get there tonight.
North.
No.
Okay.
It's gonna
I
be
thought
like
this was-
3 or 4 weeks.
I boarded a cart here, a horse and cart.
That's
so
what I was wondering.
we have one if you guys want to tag along.
Sure.
Nice.
At the very least, I can carry some of your guys' heavier gear and stuff like
or
that.
just Cephas.
Or just Cephas. Probably 6 barrels worth of gear or just Cephas.
Or I could carry you, Edivar. You don't look like you have the strength to make it. It's a long journey, it is.
I feel like that's just an insult. I was expecting some wit, but I just feel hurt.
You just called me fat.
No, you're just rather large.
All right.
Okay. Plan on leaving in 3 hours for shopping and things and blacksmithing and things.
Well, I'll see you
I give him
all.
a huge hug.
Oh,
Pick
and
him
a
up
wet
and
kiss.
just squeeze him.
It's been a pleasure.
A holy kiss for you.
Man.
Too late.
Too late.
Gross.
That's my ear.
Cephas, if you would accompany me to the blacksmith, I'd like to have that breastplate fitted.
All right, then. I got some things I like to pick up, too.
All right. Well, we'll do shopping quickly. So go ahead.
Before the shopping starts, I'm going to wait for everyone else to leave and get started the shopping. And I just wanted to talk to Arthur just one last time before we go.
I also don't leave.
Oh, you're also going to do that?
So as people start like ushering out, there's this moment where the three of you kind of like point at each other, like by the door. You're gonna. And Arthur kind of. Do you each want to talk to me privately?
Yes.
That doesn't have to be private.
Nah.
I'll go first, but it doesn't have to be private.
Okay.
Can I search your library for any recipes for like potions of any kinds?
You don't have to search very hard. Are you looking for a specific kind? Oh, well then sure. Any? I can give you a couple.
Oh, I don't have to keep them. I can just transfer them
Sure.
if you want to keep them.
Well, while I talk to them, I can tell you where to look in the library, and he kind of tells you which shelves. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Yeah. So while you go do that, go ahead and make an investigation check, and then we'll get back to you, depending on how that goes. At the very end, I can tell you what you find. Lumen?
I don't know if that counts for stuff.
I noticed that some of the people had some little bit of extra payments or.
That's weird. That you noticed that? But about it, yes? I'll assure you, any extra payment I gave was only because Ghibli and Titus were here much longer than all of you. They were here for about a week and a half, almost 2, before the rest of you got here. And they watched me as bodyguards every night.
Oh, I don't want money.
Oh.
I
Don't
like
forget
knowledge.
everything I told you.
I just want knowledge.
What are you in search of?
Languages.
Oh, okay. Is there a language you'd like to learn? That I'm not a very good teacher. I only know a couple. I know Gnomish, Common, Sylvan, and my Dwarven is so rusty it doesn't really count.
Do you have a book?
I might. You can go look in the library if I have a book about language.
I just.
Okay. So you can make an investigation check as well. Okay. So now,
Can we
leaving.
make advantage for helping each other as we look?
Do you want to help each other?
Oh yeah, if she's looking at books.
Okay. It might limit what you find, only because you're helping him look for something.
As I'm looking for my stuff, if I see his.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you can each roll with advantage. If you're going to give her advantage, you can't give anybody guidance, though. Statistically, advantage is a +5.
Oh.
Doesn't mean it will go that way.
Oh.
You guys can decide that. Leaving in the room only Ghibli. After everyone else ushered out, the two of them are now going upstairs.
Were you out and about, or are you also with me?
I'd say okay.
Yeah, I don't mind him being there.
Okay. Started with the two of you and ended with the two of you.
So we would see. But Arthur, I first of all, even though it started for us just being hired for the job just to protect you and be watch over you, I also am thankful and grateful for letting us stay in your humble abode of this tower. So
it's been fun.
It has been, but I also wish that you would reconsider for Olivia's position and try to give her possibly a second chance, if not of Titus's word, of mine, of House Carbonov. So she's helped us. She's definitely helped us. Gave us a place when we were in trouble with Zuth's watch when they attacked us, and we owe her a great amount. I owe her a great amount for her help. And I just wish that you would take great consideration that you would give Olivia more of a chance. If that's not too much to ask, Arthur.
Your words are understood, and I can assure you, when it comes to deciding her position within our order, when it comes to deciding her position within the Gilded Cipher, I'll tell you our name. Hopefully that goes...
Cipher?
Gilded Cipher. I will be her greatest advocate. My concern about whether or not she need be worried about her position was never really within myself. It was what the others would say. But I will say now, given how each of you has spoken of her, I will come to her defense more than I had intended. You and Titus had good words to say, and both made me consider more how much I know of her and how unfair her position is anyway. So I will be her greatest advocate in that decision, but I can't promise the other, and they far outnumber me, I can't promise the others will be as gracious, but I promise you, your words will find their ears.
And your words have reached ours. And we thank you. Just your words enough have bring great appreciation yet once again, Arthur.
Well, it's...
I hope in the future that we would work together once again, not as just businessmen, but as allies of House of my. Thank you, Arthur. Our help of the Carbonov House, which will be reached out to you, as hopefully you of the Gilded Cipher is to us.
I appreciate that.
And I reach out to extend for a handshake.
His little hand finds yours and shakes it. Travel safely.
And you stay safe as well, friend.
Thank you. All right. If that's everybody, what were your guys' investigation checks?
Natural 20.
Whoa. That's not what I expected based off of your reaction.
It never is.
I rolled it 3 times, and every time it went into the stitch and then over the edge. I just couldn't keep it on the mat. So the last time I was like...
So a total of what on your investigation?
21.
Okay. So you find a series of books about language, but one of them is like not a textbook, but it is kind of like a course guide about learning a language. Because you rolled so well, I will let you pick any racial language that you would like that book to be that you found. Ooh. Meaning, it can be Elven, Gnomish, Dwarven. It can be it can be a dialect of Common in a specific area, so like Marinthian Common. It can be Rycaran.
Okay.
Eric.
Was there a specific one you were hoping to find?
No, I was just. It just seems like a thing to do.
Do you want to roll to see which one it is then?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a d12 and a d4. I'll make the top one gnomish since you already know that. So if you there's no
and what?
and a D4.
12 and a 1.
Wow. Accident.
Okay, it's goblin.
No.
No.
It's cool.
So it's a weird old book that's like, even in the introduction, it's like, well, the first question to ask yourself about learning Goblin is, why would you want to know Goblin?
That's so rad.
That's
But
so true.
it is like a weird student's approach to learning Goblin. So you have a book, and given enough time spent with it, you can learn Goblin. But it's like a beginner's guide. Well, it says beginner's guide, but then also like the second line is like, there are no advanced books for this because Goblin is a very unadvanced language. Once you've mastered this book, you need no more.
That's awesome. Didn't you need 3 for dragon?
It was Elven that he needed 3. Elven's a very complicated language, though. Goblin is not. So, there you go. Lexi, you find 2 recipes for different potions. One of them is a potion of, like, cure disease. It's like a general, it'd be like a very general disease-curing thing. It would be somewhat on par with the spell, like its spell counterpart. But it is not necessarily... Are you looking for, like, herbalism, like poultices and, like...
My herbalism kit just allows me to make potions if I know
health potions,
or any
right?
potions.
It says any potions?
Yeah, and I have there's a chart like for how many days it takes for how much it costs for common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary potions.
That's all in there?
This is the
For which one? Herbalism?
Wow, okay, cool. Well, I'll say you find one for a potion of cure disease, and then you also find one for potions of greater healing.
okay. Yes.
At this level?
They're expensive to make.
Yeah.
For the stuff you need,
They're more
but you know
expensive
how
to
to
buy.
do it. All right, all of you,
How long did that take me?
probably
Just remember,
like
Mike,
15 minutes.
As expensive as they
can
are to
I
make, they're more
run
expensive
to-
to buy.
Teresa's.
Yeah?
Can I go to her herbalism and bring my recipes and see if I can get some?
Yeah, we were going to get to shopping next.
Okay.
So, if there's anything you guys want, we'll just go around real quick. That way we can do it quickly. I'm not going to like role play all of the shopping encounters. You can just tell me what you're looking for. I'll tell you if you find it or not and how much it is. Does that work? Okay. So we can start with that if you want. Going to Teresa's.
As I run down, I say goodbye to Arthur and ask him if he has any copper wire.
Oh, yes. How much do you need?
I said, "Yeah."
Sure. And he throws to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you need it as well? Okay.
Till we meet again, and then I head out.
Until then. Going to Teresa's, what are you looking for?
I just give her my recipes and see if she has any.
The stuff for both of those?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just
So I
roll
can
to see
just-
which ones she has. Okay, she does not have the herbs for the potions of greater healing. She does, however, have the herbs necessary for the potion of cure disease.
Nice. Well, can I buy 2?
Enough for 2? Yeah, so that's probably going to be kind of spendy. To make it, it's going to be 100 gold for the materials.
That for each, or okay, I buy 1.
Okay. You know what? I'll say 100 gold gets you enough to try and make 2.
Still, gosh.
But if you succeed, the potion is effectively, it will remove any disease or sickness if imbibed. But if you successfully make one, these are worth quite a bit. I mean, as you can imagine, if I told you I have a potion that will remove any sickness, like, that's pretty good.
And it takes 100 to make.
Well, it takes 50. It takes 50 gold to make one.
50 to make.
But if you were to sell it, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not exactly sure what the going rate is, but you could pretty much set a price, and if somebody's willing to pay it.
Okay. And then I think there was one more thing I needed. the shopping. That was it. And does she have any more pale lavender?
No.
Okay, didn't think so.
It's only been 12 hours.
Yeah, forgot about that. And then I wanted to go to the Smith.
Okay. Yeah, I think a few people want to go there, so we'll wait until they go as well. Does anybody have anything else before the Smiths? Do you have any general store stuff?
Well, we want point of clarification.
Yeah.
Because I did cast Bless, but technically I need holy water, a sprinkling of it.
Didn't you get someone when you went to the Mirrodine Temple?
I did have just that. So do I need holy water for all things that say holy water?
Well, it doesn't say you expend the holy water, right? You just need it. So it's
sprinkles.
So I'll say if you have it, unless you tell me like your character does something that explicitly expends it, I'll say that decent sized vial is enough for you to always cast your spells.
Okay.
Unless you just say like, there's some moment where you're like, I pour this holy water on something.
Also, the holy text for I think my shield of faith. I figured my track would work.
Yeah,
just
that's fine.
Parchment.
Also, your prayers.
Okay.
Your like list of prayers.
My list of prayers in my book. Yeah. Very good. And then I need a small silver mirror. I guess that's
small silver mirror
for sanctuary. Yeah.
Okay. I will say, you can
use your tools, I believe, right, to cast spells.
I mean, in this
is
the
small silver
for sanctuary is a small silver mirror. No alternative.
Then you can use your holy symbol.
Yeah.
Really?
You don't need the components unless they have a gold value.
Yeah.
Does the small silver mirror have a gold value?
It doesn't say gold.
Then you don't. If it said a small silver mirror worth 50 gold pieces or more, then you would need it. But because it doesn't, you can use your holy symbol in place of it.
Very good. Okay.
Same goes for the holy water, I believe, unless
you want.
Unless it's
unless it says consumed or it has a specific gold value, which usually those things are synonymous or go together.
Okay. Well then, I don't need anything.
Okay, Byron.
Would I need silver wire and a bell? And you don't because it's the same.
Same for you. You've got your symbol.
I do want to go get some holy water though.
Okay, that's fine. What pack did you start with? Because you might have already had some.
I did not have.
You didn't start with a priest pack. You probably started with an explorer's pack, but if you started with a priest pack, I don't know what your background was.
A priest pack does not. Priest pack doesn't come with. It does not come with.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay. Well, then I will say for a donation of however much you choose to, they'll give you 2 vials of holy water. Depending. Wait, which church did you go to?
Probably Mirrodine.
Mirrodine? Okay, that's the nicest one.
I would go with.
Okay, yeah, that's where he would have gone.
Would go together.
Okay, so then if you just make a donation, they'll give you some. It doesn't have to be as much. It can be as little as you want or as much as you want. Okay, and they'll give you 2 vials of holy water. Also, by the time that you get to Mirrodine's temple, Cephas, the lady that you spoke to before, walks forward and a very sizable donation came in your name, and we're very grateful. Thank you.
You're very welcome, my dear. I hope the orphans will be treated well then.
They always are, but they'll be treated better now.
I'm happy. May to bless you.
Thank you.
I gave her a track last time I was here.
I think you did, but if you didn't, we can assume you do. As far as you're aware, Ilmater and Mirrodine are on pretty good standards. It's not like nobody, I guess, technically knows if the gods are actually feuding, but their churches have always worked well together. I mean, he takes suffering and they take care of people. So, Did you have anything, David?
Yes, I wanted to go to a jeweler shop, and also I wanted to see if there was like a post office by any chance,
okay,
so I could send some letters because I wanted to send a letter to my father to give to pretty much ask for a favor and support for Olivia.
Well, okay, we'll do one thing at a time here.
Yes.
The jewelry shop. Go ahead and roll. You can either do a charisma check to see if you can ask if anybody will tell you where you can find one, or you can go ahead and roll in perception to see if you find one.
I will roll. Let's see. Can I use persuasion for charisma?
It's not so much like trying to persuade somebody to give the information to you. It's just to see if you have if you're smiley enough and if you're approachable enough that anybody's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you out. So it's just going to be straight charisma.
All right, sounds good. That is a 12.
Okay. Some people point you in the direction of a few places. This isn't actually really the town that you think. You come to realize you are in a large city. It's not just a town, but it's not small by any means. It would be strange to find a shop here dedicated to jewelry. Doesn't mean you can't find a shop that has jewelry, but you don't find a jeweler. You're not in an area where finding raw jewels in the wild, in like mining operations. I mean, none of that is done around here. You do, however, find a little shop, Earns Eccentricities.
Okay.
There is a fairly nice looking man inside when you walk in. He's a little bit older. He's probably in his 60s. He's human. He's well dressed, a kind of long red overcoat, and he's very amicable in like helping you. He says he has some jewelry. Is there a specific type of jewelry you're looking for?
It wasn't actually jewelry that I was looking for, but it was a jeweler's kit that I would like to start looking for.
I'll say he does have one. He will give it to you for 28 gold.
28 gold. I'll pay 28 gold for it.
Okay. It's the only one he has, he says, and it's a little old. He tells you some weird story about some very old gnomish man that came to town and pawned it for money he needed desperately.
Interesting.
Was there anything else you're looking for?
There was nothing else I wanted to see inside the jewelry shop, or the ceramic shop, I should say. But I wanted to find a post office to send a letter.
Right. And a few people wanted to go there, right? You wanted to go there too? That's City Hall. That's the same place you're going to go to do the bounty.
All right.
So we can do that all together if that's all right. All right. Did you have anything you need to buy,
Yes.
Jared?
I would like to buy shackles.
Shackles?
Wow.
Okay. Probably need to buy that at a Smith.
That dice set.
Okay.
That game that is the bars that have the X on them.
Oh, I don't remember what that's called, but that would be definitely played here. So, okay.
So I want to buy that set and a set of dice so we have games. And then I also want to buy...
I'll say you can buy the 2 game sets for 12 silver.
Okay. And then if they have some sort of collapsible bucket set specified for like travel. Kind of like the dog dishes that pop out, but something bigger for a bucket.
Okay. What's up, Dave?
And I want to accompany him also with the whatchamacallit. When he goes to go and get gaming sets, I also want to see if I can get a chess set from him.
Okay. The chess set's a little bit more expensive. It's going to go for 6 gold.
Really? Wow.
It seems to be handmade. At least the same guy you spoke to already about the jeweler's kit. Okay. He tells you it's handmade, that some trader came in with it a long time ago, that it's nicely painted. There's inscriptions in all of the different pieces. And he says it's the finest of dragon chess sets.
I'll take it.
Okay. For your stuff, so first the shackles, I'll say for 10 gold, you can get a set of shackles. Or manacles is, I'm assuming, what you're requesting, right?
Yeah, like handcuffs.
Okay. And then the rest of it was 12 silver for the 2 games, because those are just like little wooden things, and then dice. The dice are made of bone. Then, what else did you want? A collapsible bucket?
Yeah.
Okay, for that, roll either a perception check or a charisma check.
Collapsible in what way?
It's a bucket.
It's a bucket. Perception or charisma?
Yeah.
Well, that choice is easy. 19.
What'd you roll?
16.
No, what was the...
Perception.
After some looking, you need to find a tinkerer. This is not a normal request. It's very... If anything, the people you ask, they're like, that's a good idea. Like nobody's ever thought of it. But you go back to the Kiltis Temple, full of tinkerers, and there's a few guys that are like, a collapsible bucket? Why?
I have my reasons.
I suppose I could make a series of rings that are angled in such a way that you could piece them together that it would make a bucket.
But it's nicer for travel than to have a big bucket, you know? I could slide it in my pack even.
Yeah. Come back later tonight. How does 16 silver sound?
Okay.
Okay.
I give him 2 gold now.
This is too much, buddy. Here's your change. He gives you 4 silver back.
Thank you.
Yeah. This whole time I have thought that you've been just being nice, but you just don't know how to count.
I gave him 2 points. I got 4 back. I mean,
So he takes it and he says, "You come back later tonight." And I'll just skip to that. You come back later, right before you guys leave. He gives you 4 rings of metal that are kind of like quickly banged out, and they are they kind of go down, at an angle, so that if you put them together in order, it does form a bucket. And the top one has a little handle, and then if you push it down, they come apart, so it holds. Nice. And then he gives you a little chain that connects to the bottom one, so that when they're together, you can loop it around and connect it so they don't come apart.
Awesome.
Cool.
It's a good idea. Travel's better.
better back.
Okay, Jude?
Smithy.
That's right. So it's going to be you and those guys that want to go to the Smith.
Oh, and also for shackles.
He already bought him.
Okay.
I just told him real quick he could buy them.
Cool.
You're done.
I've literally wanted to do every single one of these things.
Why did you sing?
Because I thought that
Okay,
would be
run me real
ridiculous.
quick. What's the number 1?
I literally want to find everything, so it's just pretty much whatever he bumps into. I mean, it doesn't seem logical that I would do all this.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Was there anything, like, Mike, that you wanted that he needed to find or buy or...
his end goal is to have all tools. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mike isn't Lumen building
know
a
what that is.
backpack.
I know.
Yeah.
You find leather workers' tools.
Okay.
So if you need to make a backpack, you find a leather worker that's peddling leathers and stuff, but you ask him if he has any tools for his trade, and he will sell them to you for 6 gold pieces.
Okay.
So leather workers' tools. You also find a potter, someone working with clay pots and selling their pots to farmers, and he is a craftsman, asking for him if he'll sell you his tools. He tells you he will sell you potter's tools, which is a whole set of stuff to shape pottery. It's a little lazy Susan to spin it on and all that. He'll sell that to you for 12 gold.
Okay.
And the last craftsman you find who is willing to sell some tools. Oh my gosh. So dumb.
The lead singer of Aerosmith.
You find a cobbler who's making wooden shoes.
Funny thing is, I was gonna look for that. But I didn't say it.
Specifically.
You find a cobbler who is willing to sell you a set of his tools for 7 gold pieces.
You can make us shoes.
So those are the 3 tool sets you
You know what
acquire.
you can do with the cobblers?
No, that's incredibly great. To make
I'm
us
talking about shoes, not the cobbler, like a blackberry cobbler.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
There's some
Dude, he
cool
can repair our
things.
shoes. That's super important. Like, unironically.
That's true. He doesn't just, this guy specializes in finely crafted wooden shoes, but he shows you some others that he's made. He's made some boots and stuff.
Mixed with the leatherworking tools, dude.
Yeah.
We're set.
Okay, so you get those 3.
We all get Air Jordans.
There's nothing else? Were there specific things you wanted to buy? Or was it just to look around and find whatever tools you could? You do notice that Ghibli comes back with a little pack. I'll say with that roll, you do see him walk into a place and come out with a jeweler's set. And you go ask that guy, and he's like, "Oh, I just sold my last one to somebody. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I've had that thing sitting on my shelf for years, and nobody's wanted it."
And now
2 people on the same day, and one like you, no less.
And
He
walks
goes out and buys
Carnor.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, in walks a skeleton corpse that's been dead for 30 years.
35 years.
Okay. Then, real quick, we'll go to the blacksmiths, and then we'll do the city hall. So, who was going to blacksmith? You 2 and you?
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
getting the breastplate that we got fitted.
So, you go with him. You know who to talk to already.
I went to the school.
Oh, you're not going to the...
We're going to the school?
What?
Yeah.
What school?
Didn't we go to not the school?
You went to the Azothl Temple, which those are
That's the blacksmiths?
There's a market district, and the people that are selling there, most of them are people from the temple that go to the market square.
I help them out.
So knowing to take him instead straight to the temple, since he wants alterations,
I'm
You
looking
go
for splint.
for what?
Splint. I just want to check the price on splint armor.
So you know to take them to two young blacksmiths by the name of Kerr and Traken. Yeah. Kerr being a, both of them fairly nice younger guys that you've helped out already a little bit, and they're still expecting something from you, but not yet. Obviously, they know that you won't have it in 12 hours. They offer to make the alterations to your armor for the price of 45 gold. They'll make the alterations necessary, and they'll polish it up and everything. And
How about 40?
How about 40?
Yeah.
Roll a persuasion check.
Natural 20.
For a total of?
18.
Oh.
The DC was 18.
All right.
The half-orc leans in. Put in a good word for me for your half-orc friend, and you've got a deal.
Absolutely.
He blushes a little bit and smiles. Oh, are you there with him? I thought it was just these three. Oh.
I'm on my way there eventually.
You should be coming lazy.
Yeah.
So he is really going to think you put in a good approach for me. So coming straight for him.
So 40 gold, and he'll spruce it up for you.
No disadvantage.
When do you need it by?
Tonight.
Oh.
As soon as possible.
That's a lot of work to do tonight, by tonight. I
can have my half-orc friend pick it up.
Roll a persuasion check. This is a hard one still, though. I mean, it's basically telling him to forgo all his other jobs tonight.
8.
Just 8?
Yeah.
8?
He rolled a 10.
Oh. And the human, like, if you throw in another 10 gold, we can have it ready by tonight.
I don't have 10 gold.
I'll cover the 10.
I can have her bring 10 gold.
You can what?
Have her bring 10 gold.
She comes with you to pick it up, and you throw in 10 gold. Yeah. All right. It'll be done by tonight.
Thank you.
Sunset. Sound fine?
Yeah.
Who else you guys need anything here?
I'm looking for splint armor.
That's right. Asking them about it. Nothing that we have made is going to fit you. So if you want it, it's going to have to be custom made. And so we have to start making it now. We can take your measurements. And already as he says that, the human guy starts kind of like measuring you. And
I'm just looking for a quote.
There's a couple times where he kind of... Your chest is huge. For the custom, I mean, it's going to take a lot more material for somebody of your size.
Wait. Stuck in my stomach.
You're going to do that forever?
That's a good weight loss goal.
I will suffer.
225.
It's a great deal, but I haven't the gold. Thanks for letting me know the price.
Oh, you're welcome. I can assure you, you're not going to get any made better than from us.
I believe you.
We
One
pour
day.
the soul of Azotol into it.
Well.
Any chance you can pour the soul over?
Yeah, Elmater doesn't make armor.
Got him.
He is the armor.
He is the salve.
Excuse me. Which one takes the beating, the man or the armor?
The man. The armor
The man
stops
without
someone.
armor takes the beating. Man with armor, it's his armor takes
It just
the
takes
beating.
less of a beating. But the armor is not suffering the pain. If there's any pain transferred, the man still does. I get it, man. I like Ilmater and all. He's fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem with him.
Metaphors are hard for you, I get it, yeah.
No, yeah.
It's all right.
Ilmater is great. I think he's... I like to work with my hands more than to hurt myself on other people's behalf. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You need us as much as we need you, and I need you as much as you get it.
Here, take this track. I love you.
Oh.
And I have the patience for you.
Yikes.
Give me a gift, tell me you love me, and insult me all in one sentence.
Well, some truths are hard truths.
You're lucky I gave you a good deal before you said all that.
Ew.
He takes the track. Come back when you've got the gold, and do you want us to start making it? Or do you because I can take a down payment and we can start making it. You can pick it up later if you plan on being back in town anytime soon.
What do I remember of his schedule? Does it feel like I would be swinging back again sometime?
Not within 2 months, based on that schedule.
Yeah.
No, but I appreciate
Understood.
the quote.
I hope you find what you're looking for, man. And this is in no way an insult, but from one devoted man to another. I'm not going to switch churches, and I'm not going to ask you to either. And he hands you the track back.
Oh, that's sweet.
You're made to bless you.
And may it bless you, and so does Azotar.
Yes.
All right, I did it back, but whatever.
You're there. I slip it into his back pocket.
Scratches his ear.
Roll a sleight of hand check. What's your passive perception?
He's got fumbly fingers.
17.
So between some of the nets and stuff, you find a pocket that you, when he's not looking, and he's getting a quote himself. You know,
I put my hand.
That armor's going to fit you well, Edivar.
What?
Put my arm around him.
Oh, I
and
thought
I
you
say
said
that
you put
armor.
your arm around Colonius.
No,
I was
around
like-
Edivar, and I say that armor's going to fit you well, and then I put it in his back pocket.
Okay. Come back tonight at sunset. We'll have it for you. All right. Anything else for these guys? Nope. All right. So, sorry. And then just about that point, you come waltzing up.
I need 10 gold.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Wow, that's easy. Thank you. I'll see you tonight.
Yes, I was
My
actually
lady.
going to talk to you about getting something.
Right.
I was hoping to get a shield commissioned through you.
A shield. All right. Any particular type? Kite tower, buckler.
No.
You really made me wait for that one.
For tonight, I just want a simple one. Just a
Something we've
brown-
got off the rack?
Yep. But I want to put one in that has more flair a little bit.
Okay. I'm not really known for my flair, I'm sorry to tell you, but I can... If it's something outside my capabilities, I can commission somebody with a little more flair to take care of that part. What?
Do you have something to drop?
Base,
Do you have something in mind?
Yeah, the base is plain. It's more of just like metal detailing on top. I was hoping to have it look like, you know, like a moon and sun when they're together. It kind of like makes a crescent moon and sun.
Okay.
But instead of a sun, could it be a sunflower?
I actually think I could do that.
Yeah.
If
That'd be
not,
amazing.
Traken can help me with it. We're working really hard on that hammer I told you about before, and we've gotten a little bit more into the engraving process, and we're not too bad at it.
That's so exciting. I would love to see that.
Okay. Yeah, as long as it doesn't need anything mechanical or like...
And I don't need it in a hurry whenever I come back through. So I want the basic one for now, and then if
I can give you something now for 8 gold.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds great.
You think so?
So he gives you something...
90%
off. You wanted like a wood one with metal on, or you want a full metal one?
Full metal.
Okay.
It does it. Yeah, I want full metal.
Okay, so it's a fairly light but sturdy metal shield. Seems like it's made of probably steel, primarily, but it's got leather straps on the inside. You can strap it to your arm.
Perfect. Do you have any like idea of when that commission could possibly be done, and the cost as well?
Yeah, right. The cost. You want it about this shape, or do you have a specific shape?
Yeah, just round. About this.
Circular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just the design. I was thinking about trying to make it look like, but that seems like compromising.
So you just want the shape or the design on the front of it? Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll make the most. I'll make the most well-made shield I've ever made, and we'll put that on it for you. And 15 gold.
Yes, I can put down 15 right now.
All right. Next time you're in town, come by and pick it up.
Perfect. And then I'm coming back in tonight to pick up Edovard's shield, correct?
His armor, yeah.
Armor, yes.
I'll see you then.
See you later.
All right. And he turns away.
And I leave.
Okay.
The Church of Barlow here, does it have a tree in it?
Yeah. It's like a big, open, like Greek, like those tall Greek buildings, with like the pillars and stuff. And in the center of it, there's a massive tree that's like growing out and weaving around the pillars.
Okay.
That break it
Can I use my time to go there, talk to a priest, and be like,
Well, 45. It's been
I feel
5-minute shopping day.
I know that Barlow got a massive connection with the land.
She is the land.
Exactly.
She is life.
I feel like there was a connection to the land that was trying to speak to me.
Oh, you felt her call.
And I would like to meditate here for a while.
If it is her voice, she will make it known here. Please, it is open to you.
Thank you.
And it's a whole massive garden. I mean, it's the size, of like, I don't know, half a football field. It's this massive open garden building. In the center is that huge tree, but there are animals and stuff. Like there's a small little waterfall in the corner that runs a little creek through it. And it is like this beautiful oasis garden inside here. And you go meditate?
Yeah.
Okay. You spend time in careful meditation, kind of between the tree and the creek that is running through. And at a point, there is a wind returns to the air that was not here, but you distinctly remember being there in that cave this morning. It's a very chill wind, especially now later in the day. It's fairly hot. It was like 82. A very cold wind, like an Arctic wind, rustles through your hair. And not sure if anyone else notices it, but not opening your eyes to check. You don't care. You're focusing intently on it. And you feel the water that your feet are barely just like dipping down into get very, very cold and then freeze beneath your feet. Just a moment. And kind of disrupt again to this like weird slushy mix of frozen water. And then something beneath the water stirs and brushes against your foot. It's sharp and rough, and moves out and kind of drags along your foot as it crawls up out of the water.
I open my eyes to see, almost nuzzling against my leg as it walks towards me, is very just white with small scaled drake. With insanely like bluer than blue eyes. And every time it exhales, there's like ice mist that freezes and melts in the air on this hot day. Yeah.
So it's this comparable in size and shape to a large dog, like a large hound, but with the facial structure and mouth of something draconic. Long, rigid scales along its back that kind of stick up like spines, all this down this long tail, and it is entirely scaled, like a houndish canine but draconic creature. Long, sharp, terrifying claws, razor-sharp teeth down its mouth as it just kind of looks up at you, these bright blue eyes, I'm assuming, and it just kind of like exhales this strange, icy, magical exhale, and then looks up at you, and then this long, lizard-like tongue hangs out, and it tilts its head and smiles, these huge, sharp teeth.
Dragon, not lizard.
Yeah.
Good day.
Trying to introduce myself to it, I find myself speaking a language that I've never heard before. And I say hello.
It kind of like perks to the other side, as if it understands you in contemplation.
And it responds hello back.
It can speak?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then
it
in
can
Draconic...
Speak and listen to Draconic.
Hello. You called upon my service.
Thank you for answering the call, I guess.
It is my sworn duty. One has not called upon us in many time. Much time. He's a dragon guy. He doesn't know how to speak.
Yeah. Well,
what's for lunchy?
I call upon
Ooh,
you
a
now.
leg. I smell your blood.
Yes?
It is my own.
I'm gonna just, reach out my hand, pet him,
There's kind of a deep rhythmic purr, almost, deep in his chest.
I'm gonna introduce myself to him and, just talk for the hours and kind of just, get acquainted with the word that comes to my mind. And I say it in Draconic. Vith.
Vith.
Which is steel in the
that.
common tongue. Cold and as hard as steel.
That is my name. Okay. So, Holik and Vith getting to know one another and
then
trust one another.
for while they're all doing their thing, and then going over to
City Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, so those of you going to City Hall, that is Ghibli. Ghibli and Holik were the two that had stuff to do there, unless anybody else did.
I'll go with Ghibli.
I mean, we all had
the bounty. That's
the
right.
bounty.
So everybody meets up at City Hall. You speak to one of the clerks behind the desk. As you all gather there, though, all waiting for each other to arrive, Holik arrives last, and at his side, you see this icy white with accents of icy blue and sharp blue eyes, a creature that none of you have ever seen before, presumably. An icy drake, this large as a massive hound, razor sharp teeth, this long tail, draconic features, but also kind of semi-canine.
Is it cute?
In a way, it's very ferocious, but it seems adolescent, and in that way, it is kind of cute.
Oh, it's like Jersey.
Terrifying and awesome.
Yeah.
All the same time.
It's awesomely terrifying.
That's so cool.
But assuming there will be time during travel for you guys to talk about it and get to know stuff about it, we'll just real quick. City Hall, there is a persnickety, pencil mustached man behind a desk who sees all of you walk in, look up. You see these goggles, basically, of glasses. They're not actually strapped to his head, but they are big, round glasses that he pushes up and looks at you all.
Jeez.
Yes?
We were told there was a bounty for the bandits.
Are you talking about the Crash Crows?
Yeah.
Now the Venom Thorns.
Highwaymen.
The Venom Thorns? Oh, you're being serious?
Yeah.
Did you take them out? The 8 of you? They haven't been seen in nigh 3 months.
Well, they're not a problem anymore. We can tell you where their hideout is.
Yeah.
Do you have proof of their existence?
I pull out the torn banner that's been now cleaned off, so you can see it is just in shreds.
It appears to be their
and
symbol.
He has the band from their leader.
And one of their swords.
And
a band from the leader?
An axe from the leader, and we have the armor at another guy.
And a handwritten note.
Yes.
Do you show him the note?
Yes.
You allow him to read it?
Yep.
It's still revealing the secret message on it?
Did we hide it or not?
I can hide it real quick if you want, or we can say
Pass it around the. I reach into my
Wouldn't it make
hair
sense that
and
they
pull
should
down a
know the
little
secret
wire as
message?
I pull play with my hair and message you. Do we want him to know what's happening?
They're bad people. So shouldn't the good people know what the bad
I'm not
people are?
necessarily saying one way or the other is correct. I'm just making sure that I ask so that we know.
I feel like they should know.
I don't care.
Okay.
I can't remember what it says in all honesty.
Last time we were
The actual note-
it became a bigger issue than it should have been.
Be honest.
Okay.
It's just
So the regular note says, "Be patient, Trific," which is presumably the name of the leader. Your requests have been heard. Understand my words must be short, though veiled.
Oh, Trific is the leader?
That died.
Well, presumably, because this note was with him.
Yeah.
Delivered like it.
So he's got a master then.
It just says, "Be patient, Trific. Your requests have been heard. Understand my words must be short, though veiled they may be. Since time is in short supply, I would not be so forward as to ink paper with pen about matters of which are so secret. Stick to your assignments and remember your orders, and perhaps your requests may be met shortly." Then the secret message says, "Continue as you were paid to do. Perform." Or continue as you're paid to do. Perform. If I can spare, more arms will be sent. Now, keep our little arrangement out of your lips and off of any future writings, you fool. Or must I find you
if Trific is the leader,
But it doesn't
then
have
this
anything
means
that
he's
says that
working
it's
for
from the
somebody
front.
else, and that could cause bigger scandal.
Yeah.
But the name
That's
is
what I was.
veiled.
Yeah,
But the name of the
we don't know
sender
who
is
it's
veiled.
Whoever sent this, there is no name on it. Yeah.
But it also
But it
doesn't
does say the
that-
name Trific, and from reading it and stuff, this was in the hands of that leader.
I
Not
think
literally, but
having the secret message out only serves to, it's kind of like the principle of embarrassment. Like we get some credit for that being shown.
So you, being shown.
so you guys, so you hand him the letter. He reads it. Oh, and quite the scandal you've uncovered, eh? Well, the name lines up. Trific was their leader, at least rumored to be. Goliath Brute.
We can point it out on a map where that hideout was. So
I would appreciate it.
Well, Arthur said he'd vouch for us.
And Arthur said that he would vouch for us.
I will send a courier to find out if this connection to Arthur is legitimate, and if it is, and he does that, and I'll say within like 15 minutes, somebody comes running back and whispers something in his ear. Oh, thank you for waiting. Your story seems to line up with Arthur's account. We will reward you the full bounty, as we see fit, that you have, and with this scourge. The very least, my understanding is that the scourge has been ended for some time, but you have proof of its end. So, the full bounty will be awarded. Here's your letter back. Well, mind if I keep it, actually? Or...
We have it transcripted, right?
I did transcribe it.
I was hoping
The transcription will not help you in the form of if you want to use this handwriting for forgery later.
I was hoping to do.
Because that's basically like copying a
I
forgery
forgot that she
for a
wanted the
forgery.
forgery.
Are we required?
I will transcribe it
Okay.
as evidence. And he gives it back to you.
Yeah, I don't like this pencil stash.
During
guy.
that 15 minutes.
Understand, it seems as though you have uncovered a great scandal in the area. Somebody was paying Trific and his men to do what they were doing.
Probably.
Well, I would assume a lot, but those brutes don't need much. Your question?
Is it handwritten?
Yes.
It's typed.
It's typed.
No, it's handwritten.
Well, I don't know. It's magic, so.
Well, I mean, as far as you're aware, if magic was used, you don't know.
Oh, okay.
But it seems handwritten. There's evidence of ink being used. Lumen.
I was wondering how long has that bounty been?
Well, it's been unclaimed for near 5 months. It was out for 2 to 3 months before anybody even realized that, well, it was out for about 2 months, and then a month went by where they weren't seen, and then everybody just assumed, it went one way, and we didn't say anything, because I had heard from another clerk that maybe the Crown took care of it. But the bounty still existed, technically, and nobody claimed it. So the bounty is yours. It was estimated at least 50 to 60 men were there. They were listed at, well,
Yes.
15 gold per head, so it's a sizable bounty for you.
I do recall from the bodies that it was more 60 than 50.
You want to roll a deception check?
That's what Dude, it was a mountain of bones.
Roll
9, 10 feet
actually,
tall.
yeah, because there's no way you could have counted them, but go ahead and roll a persuasion check. 'cause
Certainly
that's
felt
what you
like
believe,
60
right?
bodies. Why did I open my stupid mouth?
3.
Oh my word.
The bounty was listed at 50 because that was the assumed number, so you will be paid 750 gold. I think that's suitable.
Bummer.
Well, I'll get 93.
It's directly from the crown.
Can I insight if he's trying to take any off?
How tall is this guy?
People get 94.
He's not standing, but you would assume 5 something?
5 what?
Seems to be telling the truth. Huh?
5 what?
5'8" to 5'11".
Alright.
Is there a message board or like? Where the
That was
bounty-
outside, yeah. It had like a bunch of little pins and stuff on it. So he gathers up a bunch of gold, puts it in a sack, hands it to you all. Actually, he would do it in platinum, 75 platinum.
It's a lot easier to count.
Yeah. And it'd be very heavy in the form of gold. Well, thank you for your service, and goodbye. Unless you have any other business?
We were wanting to send a couple letters.
Well, I can see to that. And yours are going to Wild Valley, right?
Yep.
And yours are going to Port Nero?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be 10 gold per letter per person.
Are there any available bounties? You mentioned a group.
There are, but we'll get to that next time.
Okay.
As we end here, you guys gather your things, you meet up at the gates, and you begin your journey, your long journey to Fort Trinity, where presumably there will be another duel of, like, magnificence, hopefully, and some allies to find, and more work.